continues their pursuit of glory.
Yeah, this is an obnoxious game. I can't believe we're here. I mean, we thought that this group would have been completely different. Gen.G would have made it through, and maybe Heretics would have been in the spot that Gen.G is in right now. But Sentinels,
yeah.
I mean, they looked great. The recovery, the turnaround that they had compared to the first match they had against Gen.G. They're going to need to bring that energy against FPX here today on this Lotus. And the last time these two teams clashed on this map, it was a mirror. It was a 13-7 win for Sen. And oh man, this is going to be an unbelievable start.
I mean, this is the tournament that's on everyone's minds at the beginning of the year. This is what players play for. This is what the entire year is about. And for one of these two teams, it ends today. Sentinels on the attacking side of Lotus. You've got Lakia, who's already taken a lot of space towards A. Now taking a step back, but otherwise, Dre, the map very quiet.
Yeah. It's so timid from both sides right now. No one wanting to make an early mistake. Very default play across the board. It's going to be a lurk smoke on C, putting doubt in the minds of Gen.G, but Munchkin, he's getting ahead of that.
Yeah, a smoke out from Karon as well. The Prowler through, but you're right, Munchkin ahead of the line just a little bit. Getting enough info as to what's really going on. And you see, as we see the map kind of lean back towards A. A couple of members across the middle of the map. Lakia is the first one to fall.
Yeah, he was the solo man there as well. It's all up to Karon here.
With a classic light armor, the wall will conceal their movements. As Texture tries to get a little active. Texture was an absolute demon the last two times these teams faced off.
Yeah, he absolutely shut Zekken out of the series. And he just shut down Celsius.
At least out of this round, Meteor with a nade and a flash at his feet will fall at the hands of Zekken as Tense looks to get a little bit more active, will connect onto Munchkin. Numbers the way of the attack in a massive amount too. And it's not getting any better for the #1 seed from the APAC region. Sentinels win the pistol, and very quickly, the last time they played, they won 1 out of the 4 pistols the entire series. They struggled.
And not only that, but it's Zekken getting a 3K into that round, getting momentum. It's something that he couldn't do the last time around against Gen.G. And it's something that was able to get them over the hurdle in that grand final in Madrid for Sentinels to take that one home. So this is very important for the side of Sentinels. They need momentum. They're such a momentum-based team.
Absolutely. You know, we talked about it 2 days ago when we watched Sentinels dance with FPX. Zekken, unfortunately, he went -17 in the series against Gen.G. Those demons are not that far behind him.
Will just be a C hit right off the rip, understanding that they have all gun advantage, all utility advantage, and it's going to be a clear retake from the side of Gen.G. What can they really do? They only have a couple sheriffs on Meteor and Texture. And we've seen this post plant happen a lot from the side of Sentinels. They'll put this deep alarm bot in water with a molly. It's all to delay. And then they'll cycle smokes on default. This is so hard to break through. Zekken's having such a map already.
Dude, it's the second round, and he's already 1 point away from having his ult online.
And he's hungry. He wants more. Here it is. He gets that ultimate.
I mean, when you have that far of an advantage, you really want to push, and that's exactly what he does. So massive for 2 reasons. You mentioned Sentinels, you mentioned Zekken struggling, and how it's important for him to get back online, get the ball rolling as quickly as possible. And I think he's already doing that, 7-1. But also, the showstopper round 3, huge.
Yeah, and they didn't lose a single rifle in the process. John QT, he was sitting on a sheriff the entire time. Yeah, Zekken falls down there, but he got the showstopper like you said, and John was able to pick that Spectre up and now upgrade to a Vandal. And on the other side, it's all light armor across the board. If that showstopper even tags somebody, it's going to do mad damage. It'd probably take out a couple players. But I will say, in the last series, we saw Zekken whiff a couple of those ultimates. So
yeah, think about that bind one, that sword. Right past the Autumn, if I'm not mistaken. Seems like a lot of pings on the minimap towards B at the beginning of the round. Gen.G seemingly wise to it. 3/5 of their team is posted up around here for now.
But the mid-rounding, Celsius, while all that front B pressure was happening, took all of C control. And he's farming up his own little orbs right here. Munchkin needs to be careful right here. If he gets carried out, yeah, that showstopper's going to do the damage.
And the thing is here, if you're Sentinels, you don't have to fully commit to this. It seems like they might, though. Tenz is already TP'd all the way across. You've got everything back sight, mowing over Gen.G.
An absolute firing squad that Texture just ran into.
I mean, he swings, and it's the most terrifying thing you could imagine.
It was diabolical.
And so now, as the dust settles and as the rest of the round kind of comes to a close, you see Sentinels with a really big advantage here. They're up on numbers. You've got John, who's going to get a little bit closer to having his ult online. Zels is halfway to his. Money's in a really good spot. This is the Sentinels that was missing a couple of days ago. This was the Sentinels that was missing in the opening match of this tournament.
Yeah, missing in stage 2, honestly. Even in the playoff, they barely squeaked in. Salsas gets the quick trade, securing the round. Getting closer to that ultimate. And yeah, Zekken wasn't the one that got that showstopper kill. But Saucy doing his due diligence with that Fade Prowler. Sniffing out Munchkin. And yeah, there's not much you can do in a spot like that against a showstopper and a Spectre.
No, I mean, you mentioned it. He needed to be careful. That was just that's a brutal one and done spot.
Yeah, and losing the bonus round, it could feel so bad. Your economy feels like you can never really get it going. That being said, it's going to be Light Armors again across the board right now and a showstopper of his own for Texture.
I'll find you. Still waiting.
See if he's able to replicate any of that success. Maybe that's the tipping factor here because you see the buy. It's not great. 2 Stingers and then Sheriffs.
Bring them down.
For Sentinels, again, a slow start. Pretty metered, pretty tempered, if you will. Just kind of waiting to see if Genji are going to get active, if they're going to try to take some space and throw something aggressive into the fold. And that's exactly right. You got the Paranoia that's out, and they're going to give up some of the same main space, trade the Paranoia of their own, but manage to get away unscathed.
Yeah, and the big thing here is that all that C control was already gathered. So there's 5 members here, and the rotations can't make it in time. Sentinels are aware of this,
well,
but they're getting delayed.
You got to be careful here, too. There's a brutal crunch. Remember, Texture has his ult. But once again, fully sending out onto C. Saucy will be the first to fall as Munchkin manages to find 2 on the round. There's the ult popped as well. Not connecting onto anything, but Munchkin continues to farm. 3 on the round now. Oh, I thought he had fired it off already. Celsius falls on it. It's just John left in a 1v4, and they're weak, but not that weak. A thrifty round for Genji.
He may have been in the wrong position in the round previously, but this time he took things into his own hands. He gets 4 into the round, 3 with the Stinger, gets the upgrade. That allows Texture to go in with that showstopper and secure the round win. And what a way to stop the bleeding. I mean, winning an eco round, now all of a sudden your economy is going to be back in the game. You're back in the mix of things. Genji needed this, and they needed it desperately.
And there was never any doubt that a team like Genji would punch back. Right? Yeah. They're not the team to roll over. They're not the team to kind of fall in the face of big moments. So you knew it was going to happen. You knew it was inevitable. The question was when. And it just so happens that the stars aligned on the 4th round.
And they're also a team that takes a little bit to get going in series, I noticed. Sometimes, they'll go down, 4 or 5 rounds, and then they'll bring it all the way back and even secure out the map if that. But if not, they can reverse sweep at any moment.
Sure. Zekken already taking a ton of damage. Just off a spam through the smokes, 21 HP, no armor left to him.
These teams play at such a high level, both of them. It feels like we're truly watching like just a chess match right now, just a battle back and forth of the brains. Sentinels will take space here. Genji will take space there. This tit for tat, blow for blow. The rotations being in full effect. Look, 3 members facing each other in front B. Both teams have such a good read on how each other play.
The spike is rotating back towards B. Both Paranoias have been traded. As of personnel on both sides.
Yeah, and exactly. Both players have been traded too.
All of that KJ utility. Pop towards C. They have a decent idea that that's where the hit is, but with 30 seconds left, there's still a couple of options. And once again, 10's the tip of the spear, TPing forward. A little bit separated. How in the world does Meteor win that? Saucy with the swing on the trade. Nicely done. And now with 3v3. As Texture creeping his way forward. The first to fight, the first to find a kill. Has this been the case? Instantly traded right back 2v2 now. Saucy has his eye. Lakia has no health left. It's Karen alone. He's been good. Head and shoulders above the rest. But can he deliver here? Against John QT, no, he cannot. The leader for Sentinels delivers once more.
I mean, it was trade for trade the entire way through. It came down to a 1v1. It's that chess match I was talking about. This is going to be such a close series if it continues onward like this. But now, it's ultimates available for the side of Sentinels. Here's the replay of the trading on site. It's so evenly matched, it feels like. Pistol round truly the only difference maker in these rounds in this 1v1.
And again, we talked about this when we saw them play against FPX. The big difference was John QT, it felt like, in my opinion, right? When Sentinels have been good, John has delivered. That's a big moment for him early on.
Getting your IG on the flow state can be a really big thing, especially early on. If he starts getting the kills, you get more confident in the calling, you start getting better reads.
Oh, they've got him figured out. They spotted him.
That was a tough one.
He was there in the previous round, too.
And Sentinels have a good idea of when a player's playing pushed up like that and they're solo to go through the door, the revolving door. No one has met them there yet.
The look back towards A. Texture getting through the ult. He's got a big timing here. A wide swing and 2 kills found. Again, heroics from Texture. But the counterpunch comes through at just the right time. Second down low, spotting one, trying to switch to the weaker weaponry and not finding a kill. Now 2v2, the pit invested 10s on the prowl. It's an alarm bot keeping him just a little bit further back. His meteor waltzes into his death, right into the crosshair of the controller. Munchkin does the same.
10's too fast in these moments. Holding the angles. It's a tough, tough round to win if you're genvsgen Texture. He went huge in that moment, getting 2, swinging out super wide. Look at this. That's such a wide swing.
Dude, and how many times have we watched genvsgen and seen Texture do something like that?
Yeah.
Munchkin, Meteor, do something where they're getting 2Ks and 3Ks in most instances where somebody gets traded instantly.
Yep.
But that just seems to be one of their strengths, one of their strong suits, and we're already seeing that play out. I think the big difference here is Sentinels are managing to kind of go toe-to-toe with that, where they haven't been able to in the past.
Yeah, they figured out the spacing game, right? The problems they had against FPX early on in the first map.
Yeah.
It's carrying over. They fixed it. They fixed that problem. Their spacing is on point. They're getting trades. Even if a player gets 2, they're able to, bring it all the way back. And it's going to be an early timeout for genvsgen. Remember, the only round they've won so far was that Thrifty off the back of Munchkin. You got 4 kills into that round, 1 showstopper kill from Texture. And other than that, it's been very close, right? We had the 1v1. Karen versus John QT. In this case, it was a 2v2, but 10s. I mean, he just held down that opposite side of the Viper's pit that John QT put down.
Again, it feels like for genvsgen, part of their calling card has been delivering in the big moments. And again, anybody on that roster can deliver. Lakia is a guy that we don't really talk about a ton, but he's just as good, just as stalwart in those high-pressure moments. Again, I think the big difference here is that Sentinels have been able to respond and deliver with a couple of their own.
And they're not really getting picked off early either, Doug.
Yeah, I think that's huge. That's part of the 4-round difference here. On the other side of the timeout, what are the adjustments? You've got 3 ults on the side of the defense.
Got 4 now.
Yeah.
Got A-Orb gathered.
Again, sweeping a little bit further. Munchkin clearing out the turret. And now the round ripe for reset.
Shadows traveling.
I mean, the approach from Sentinels on this attacking half has been so calculated, so methodical. They clearly do not want to give anything away early on to genvsgen.
No. Remember, that's that lurk smoke on C that you mentioned at the beginning of the map, the piss around one, but this one way just sucks to get through.
It's just going to keep on being cycled over and over and over. And I think this is going to be an A reclear into a B split potentially. That's why you see an alarm bot from Zellsis put all the way in the back of that SC. Viper Wall gets baited out from the side of Sentinels, but a Prowler also out of the mix.
Sand in that hourglass continues to tick away. 30 seconds left in the round now as they've invested the lockdown. And now it's going to be traded back for another.
A big investment from genvsgen.
With still a lot of time left to play in the round, the Prowler just got a little bit of info towards A. Second satchel forward and right into his death. Are they going to be able to navigate some of this as Lakia is going to fall in exchange?
Look at the time, Doug.
They may have burned the candle down just a bit too low.
10 seconds left.
They're trying to get ahead of this, but the reinforcements are already here. Look at Munchkin's positioning. That's the plan. Stop. That's John QT dealt with assassination style. The round will go the way of genvsgen.
What a round from genvsgen. What poise. To not make any mistakes. Not give a single inch to Sentinels. Holding all of that A space. Not taking the bait on that Killjoy ult. And what a counter ult from Meteor. What a call. The gall you have to make a play like that when you are down in the weaponry. That's the second Thrifty win already for for the side of Genji. If they can get things going on these gun rounds, they could bring this one back. So this time, that cautious approach from Sentinels, it works against them. Maybe we're going to see a change of pace. Here it is.
Paranoia already out. The one-way goes up, but they're already past it at this point.
Lockheed might get caught right here. He needs to be careful. Oh, that Viper Wall gets up right on time. Munchkin, good awareness in that moment. All that's happened. Yeah, Texture took this deep angle.
With the op, we haven't seen that yet. Saucy's aware of it now. Is he going to be able to get away? No, Zellsis chases him down.
Sentinels right now, they have no other choice. They kind of have to just hold W here. There's still 2 mollies they have to deal with. The showstoppers invested from Zekken. He gets chipped down very low.
He didn't have any satchels.
Yeah.
He couldn't go.
Will be a free site gathered. Spike should be planted unless spam.
I mean, it might be a free site, but it feels like they're walking right into Genji's trap. Lakia has his ult. Smoke's already going through. Zekken getting a little bit aggressive, getting the best of Meteor, but again, still, that Nightfall in play, and there it is, right on cue tapped. You've got John, who's playing his tight angle, managing to stay alive with the help of the nade, sure. Swinging out into Lakia, but not able to convert. He's now left in a 1v3. He's cutting his losses. He's tucking tail. He's getting out of there.
Yeah, he's got to save. What proactivity from Sentinels in that moment. Tens holding on to that paranoia, shooting it through water. Zekken getting aggressive in that moment. And amongst all the chaos, when the retake is coming through, when the flood is actually happening, Sentinels are peaking together. They're not sitting back waiting for the fight to come to them. They're picking really good opportunities to fight together. And the trades are going their way. Full confidence right now for Sen. It was a change of pace at the start of the round.
It was. I think on both sides. I mean, yeah, a little bit more aggressive towards A. You mentioned that, but I think, again, Texture taking that aggressive line towards C with the op.
Thank you for trading me. I love you so much.
That's just a different look, right? We haven't seen that out from them.
A little bit of frustration from the side of Genji.
Again, the op in the hands of Texture. 3 ults to play around, light armor for everyone. And I think I gotta go back to what you were thinking and saying a couple of rounds ago. What is that smoke?
Very interesting. Maybe to hide from an aggressive haunt if there was an A fight to be in the mix.
Yeah, possibly.
And it was a fake TP going into a B hit, so they're trying to condition very small micro things. You have to do that when you're at this high of a level of play.
Zekken was too far out, Tens was too, Munchkin again, delivering. These are the big moments where Genji has their way with the opposition. They're yet to win a gun round, but it seems like they're going to here. Forget the Thrifties.
Oh my gosh, he went for more.
Just John QT and Saucy left. I don't know that they really have anywhere to go.
What a shot from Munchkin, that was disgusting. He's looking for more.
And remember, Munchkin was the hero in a couple of rounds ago, the first Thrifty round that they won. Delivering again.
Saucy might just opt to save. I mean, he's got $350 in the bank. Spike is definitely going to have members on it. Texture with that operator being one of them.
Yeah, I do want to go back to the value that Munchkin has been able to provide for Genji all year. Right? I know I mentioned it a couple of rounds ago, but you think about these map-changing moments, these series-defining instances. It's often multi-kill rounds, and it's often like these.
Yeah. From the top, no one looking at him. He puts his Viper walls up at the most opportune times. And then he hits shots like that. That's crazy. To be IGLing, to be the forefront of your squad at the same time, that is so hard to do. But he's one of those IGLs who, like you said, he's been doing it all year long. Such a big part of Genji's success this year. Such a big part of their consistency this year. Getting second, the first international, and then winning a championship, the second one in Shanghai.
A level of consistency that hasn't been rivaled really in the history of Valorant, but has the potential to get pushed here. Texture once again with the op. Looking for any skin, any blood, and nothing found. Oh my goodness. Better late than never, I guess. He's gonna get a third! Teeing off! Sentinels. What a round from Texture. The 4K for Genji.
That was unbelievable. He's so quick with it. And now he's the one at the top. That last kill, what was that? Was he trying to flick Zek there? I mean, he ended up killing John, I believe.
The collat, you know, whatever. You get lucky.
Goodness.
But those last two.
Oh my gosh. And that's scary right now if you're Sen. 4 rounds on the defensive side for Genji. Texture is here and ready to play, still sitting on that showstopper. Wow!
And now Meteor's joining in on the fun. This is the Genji that's terrifying. This is the Genji that wins championships.
Bomb grenade out.
And I said it, Doug. Genji are a team that tends to start off a little bit slow, but when they get warmed up, they're unbelievable.
One enemy remaining.
And yes, this is an eco round, but you know, we talk so much about confidence, we talk so much about momentum and how valuable that is in a game like this. We've already seen 2 cataclysmic shifts as far as how momentum has gone.
Yeah, all of a sudden you have Meteor in the mix of things. We've seen Meteor on this map play Killjoy and just decimate teams by himself. And a hard read here, perfect spray control. Getting the 3rd on top of it. What a nice flick.
Following the tracers all the way back.
Nasty
just
stuff.
Perfect. So before we hit the last round of the half, Sentinels will call a timeout of their own to try to slow things down. I think if you're Sen City here, Dre, you've got to find a way to slow down some of this massive swell of momentum that has currently come up from Genji. They've won 3 rounds in a row. They've won 4 out of the last 5. And Texture, Munchkin, and Meteor are online in a massive way. And again, those were the 3 names that caused the most heartache for Sentinels at the beginning of this tournament.
Yep. Crazy players that could change the game at any moment.
And I want to take this moment to talk through, you know, the Des talked about it, but I want to mention again the global dominance that Genji has had this year. There was that graphic that was flown by the Des. They're 11-2 in their last 13 global matches.
That's obnoxious.
That's asinine. That level of dominance is just absurd. But now they both find themselves again in a position where one of these 2 teams goes home today. And it was in a way that nobody expected. You talked about this at the beginning of the match. We thought it might be Heretics that was down here, fighting against likely Sentinels, and Genji would be the ones kind of cruising all the way to the playoff stage, but I guess that's why you play the game.
Unbelievable stuff from both sides right now. Sentinels were up 5-1, Doug. Genji, they brought it all the way back.
Again, this fight for a main continues to go the way of Genji. There's just not a lot that Sentinels can do to fight back.
I mean, that's one way to do it. Latvia gets taken out, but the showstopper,
it was short! Nipping at his heels, but not enough to get the kill.
Oh my gosh.
John QT continues to dance with Des, just looking for any sort of moment of respite to reload. Now back to full strength, continues to hit the spam, no targets found.
Sentinels don't want to let Genji come back into this round with a free pick. That's why they're grouping up. They're deathballing right now.
And remember, Karen has had this aggressive angle. Many of the defensive rounds that they've played, are they expecting it here?
Even if they are, I mean, it's so tough. He's ahead of this Viper wall. Oh my gosh. What was that peek from Second, though? Instas, and they're just going to run through the door like they have been this entire time.
Perpendicular walls keeping these 2 teams apart as one of them goes down. Munchkin gets ahead of it. Second on the jump spot, they understand the threat that's on the other side, and now they decide to wait it out. They're beckoning the fight to come to them. Either you wait out the lockdown, or you fight us.
It got spammed.
And now Texture not able to hold the line, not able to keep up the resistance. The pit invested, Munchkin trying to trace over. Snaps back onto Munchkin, or onto Sasi, excuse me, but Meteor's left alone. Sentinels get to 7.
And they needed that one, but is 7 enough, Doug, on a map like Lotus that is attack-sided?
I'm tempted to say when it comes to a matchup between these 2 teams, conventional wisdom goes out the window, man.
You might be right. Like, it oftentimes comes down to those micro adjustments, pistol rounds even. Clutch plays.
See that peek again from Zekin. All
through the one-way. Oh my gosh.
Tiniest of glimpses.
Nice bullet! Oh, John, wait, look!
Who knows?
I don't know what they were looking
it was
at. But
probably flashing the bundle or something. I don't know. 7-5, the way of Sentinels. We've got an interview standing by with Rob Moore, the CEO of Sentinels, standing by right now. Take it away.
Hello everyone, it's the halftime interviews with Bella, and I'm joined by Sentinel CEO Mr. Rob Moore. Hi, nice to meet you, Rob.
Thank you so much.
네, 센티널 CEO 로브 모어 씨와의 인터뷰 준비해봤습니다. 이제 서울 방문한 게 오늘 처음인지 좀 어떻게 이번 챔스 즐기고 계신지 한번 여쭤보겠습니다. Is this your first time in Seoul? How have you been enjoying the city?
This is my first time in Seoul. I think I've already added 5 pounds eating all the great food here.
이 서울 방문은 처음인데 아마 오고 나서 한 2-3kg는 금방 찐 것 같다고 얘기를 하십니다. 오늘 센티널 경기 초반에 화력이 아주 좋습니다. 좀 이렇게 성장을 잘 해봐서 오늘 멋진 경기 보여주고 있는 센티널 팀은 얼마나 좀 자랑스러운지 한번 여쭤보도록 하겠습니다. You must be proud of how the boys are doing. You know, they started off great. So, how proud are you?
You know, it's been an amazing year, and obviously now this is our 4th time playing Genji. I'm a little surprised. It's the first time I've ever been in a match where everyone is rooting for the other team. And nobody's wearing a Sentinels jersey today, except for Tenz's uncle.
이제 올해 센티널의 성적이 너무 좋았고 그리고 이제 젠지랑 벌써 붙은 게 4번째인데 사실 경기장에 와서 센티널을 응원하는 팀보다 젠지의 관객들로 이렇게 가득 찬 건 또 색다르다고 합니다. 그리고 또 센티널을 응원하고 있는 텐즈의 삼촌분 빼고는 없다고 하네요. 이거는 이제 센티널의 번들 구매. A minute for you. 그럼 저희는 로터스로 돌아가 보겠습니다. Back to Lotus.
You know, for as much as that was lighthearted and you know, whatnot, and fun to listen to Rob for a second there, I think he makes a really good point. Sentinels are in a position that they rarely find themselves in. I mean, yeah, they did at the beginning of the tournament, but the stakes are notably higher here. This is enemy territory that they're playing in front of. When they're often used to looking out to the crowd and seeing a sea of red, it's all black and gold now.
And it's been just blow for blow this entire way through. Everybody on both sides performing at the same amount. You see Texture and Zekken going head-to-head, same amount of kills. John and Munchkin, same amount of kills. It's poetic. Roll for roll. It's so equal.
Genji on the pistol, they're already farming the orbs into Laki's hands. Perhaps indicative of what's in store. Oh, a little bit of spam, Texture plucked. You know, you keep wondering, and you know, maybe this is kind of the feeling for most fans that are watching, is that I think there are a lot of questions around if and when Sentinels will crumble. When will they kind of fold under the pressure? Will that be the case? Doesn't seem like they're slowing down anytime soon. I will say they are taking a big step back on C this round. Genji have gotten out onto the site, but Sentinels have the numbers advantage. No paranoia to speak of, no smokes, nothing like that, but Tenz has a Sheriff and light armor.
Oh! Zekken also has a Sheriff to his name. Oh, but he's gonna get taken out right here. The proactivity in the post plant, Munchkin getting 2.
Not able to find safe passage, not able to get across. I cleared out, now without getting a tag, Tenz getting the best of Karan, and now Munchkin left alone, a 1v2. Difficult to win, but possible. Just not the case this time. Again, pistols were elusive to them. In their first matchup, that's now 2 for 2.
That was close as well. Munchkin, he did his damn best right there. He had to get an ace to win that pistol round, and I mean, he might as well could have. But the Sheriffs are too strong. You could wall bang with them. 2 body shots is all you need. That's why Zekken gets that free kill in the beginning. But look at the shots. Look at the form that Munchkin is in right now. He wants it bad. In that interview that Sue had with Munchkin and Zelsis, Zelsis said, no, these guys are nervous. Munchkin does not look nervous at all. He was shaking his head the entire way through. Yeah, these pistol rounds haven't been going their way, but all it takes is 1 Thrifty to get them back on the map. And that's why you see this Vandal. Yep, that's why you see the Vandal heavy armor buy from the side of Texture.
Such an abnormal purchase.
You also have a Marshall on the field for Meteor. It's a 5-man A.
On the attack side of Lotus, no less.
Yeah. Sentinels are aware now that the Vandal is in full effect. That room of being shot from Texture. So that's why they're playing so cautious. They don't have the gun advantage when you have a Spectre and a Bulldog. Wow, Tether nade.
Achilles was talking about that on the desk and how it seemed like that needed to be a big part of their success on Lotus, and it hasn't really been much to speak of, to be honest.
And do you still opt to clear out that very, very close corner on Zekken after you use that? I guess somebody could have sneaked in.
This cross is crazy, but Saucy was the backup. He was the reinforcement. Paranoia is out. It's going to tag up Zekken as well. It's just buying time. Wow! With the nade out, still manages to get one. But Karen on the equalizer. Celsius now aggressive with the Spectre upgraded in the hands of Munchkin. Can he hold the line? Finding all three!
Strike down A.
Meteors Marshall finally besting him.
30 seconds
But
left.
he's now left in a 1v2, upgrading to a Vandal. No armor. Challenged in the smoke. Challenged in the map. Sentinels get to 9.
It was a valiant effort from Genji into that force buy, and it was looking promising. But Celsius, he stepped up huge in that moment. That little off angle here in the spray down, he knew he had to do this. If you give them the sight, if they are able to upgrade, all of a sudden your chances of winning are drastically lowered.
Hey, look
they'd
at
already
they
lost the
laughing
weapon.
now, buddy.
What a clutch play. And he stands up on top of it, puffing his chest out.
It's a good sign for Sen City. Paranoia out, the spit goes through. Zekken has to take a step back. But with Zealous intense, fighting over his shoulder, it's all safe.
One enemy remaining.
Annihilated from the very beginning of the round. Bodies littering A main. And it's another song of success for Sen City.
It was so hard to make what was going to happen in that moment. Just util for util, shot for shot. It was chaos, pandemonium. But Celsius, he got a kill with the outlaw somehow. And it was just the firing squad set up ready here.
And honestly, this was where Genji did have success.
Bro, I missed my nade and we still won.
That was where Genji had success in the first half. They were the ones who dug their heels in. They drew the line in the sand A main. And now Sentinels are giving them a bit of their own medicine.
Alarm bot down.
Telsa still with that outlaw that you mentioned, has his ult to play around.
And just across the board, just very default stuff right now from Sentinels. Understanding they have the gun advantage. They don't want to give any picks. It's reminiscent of how they were approaching their attack sides. Playing very, very standard and safe.
Yeah, tempered, I guess, a metered approach, if you will.
And maybe that's what the game plan was going into this matchup.
Sure.
Not giving that much away to Genji, not giving these 1v1 exchanges, not giving the contact approaches, fighting as a unit, using utility. Maybe that's the key. Maybe that was the game plan, the adaptation this time around.
It's a cheeky angle there. Celsius is holding. If he does get threatened, he should be able to get away, unless he's completely overwhelmed.
This is going to be an A reclear fight, though. That's why you see Tens out with that paranoia.
Yeah, I think it's just noise that Munchkin is making. And it's just enough of noise. It's just enough of a
30
distraction.
seconds left.
Very nicely done by Genji, but Zealous is still holding the line on the other side. That's now 2 bodies found. The swing of the classic will not betray him.
Spike down.
Back-to-back
C.
3Ks for the Vibe Merchant himself.
He played that to near perfection.
I mean, he really did.
And now tethered nade. I mean, yeah, the spike gets planted. Oh, it doesn't even get planted. Oh.
I mean, Tens was still really far away, and time was really short, but that was almost almost a Munchkin clip.
And remember, last time these two teams played on Lotus, it was a mirror matchup. It was Madrid. It was 13-7 for Sentinels. Genji ended up banning that in the finals. Keeping it in this time around, thinking that maybe Sentinels are weaker than what they were. A shell of what they once were. But Sen, if they get confident, they can beat anybody in the world. That's why they're champions of their own right.
There's some safe pathing out from Texture at the beginning, but Karn was the one who walked away worse for wear. The doors tap, the Honko's up, no target found, Saucy's dead.
Oh,
Tens,
he's playing this crazy.
he slipped the net.
Oh my gosh.
The Fox is in the 10, and Meteor is dead. They've gotten the spike down, but they've got to realize there's a threat behind them, and it's a considerable one. The Paranoia is going to attack both. Karn's now dead. 2 members trapped in tree. Texture's the only one who's still playing back sight. Nice shots out for Munchkin. Equalizing things at numbers. Zelsis with the lockdown. Gonna try to flush him out as Texture's dead. What do they have to go off this? They have to respect this. They have to give up the space. Nobody on the spike yet. Oh, he's got the line. He can hold him back from there. Zekken's the first to fall. Munchkin dealing with the aggression. Zelsis will have to clutch this out on his own. A 1v2, Locky and Munchkin both still have ults to play around. And time's got to be so short.
One enemy remaining.
There's none left. Whew.
It wasn't looking too good for Genji in that moment, but they brought it back. Munchkin, he has no fear in these moments. He came here ready to play. He's the playmaker of their team right now. Yeah, Texture had that beautiful entry, but the impact that Munchkin is getting with some of these frags and trades, it's been crazy. And Lakia, who's been quiet, he stepped up big in his own right here. Picking the perfect timing to get Zek in there.
Well, it was all off of, it was all off of Munchkin's position and his timing that you mentioned just a couple of moments ago. He had that line from Broken Door. He was able to drop the spit. And again, the double swing out from them was perfect. So Genji, stay alive, get to 6. An op in the hands of Zekken and an aggressive line taken with Zelsis close by.
And Genji now have 4 ultimates of their own to work with. Meteor, he's creeping up slowly, 3 orbs until he gets his.
I think the question on my mind here is how far up do the rest of Sentinels go here? How far do they dare to challenge? How much space do they venture towards?
It's all a bait setup on C, but that deep alarm bot, that should be heard from Zelsis, I believe. But they're not reading into it. Last time around we saw Sentinels use that same alarm bot, they ended B.
They're committing to this.
Showstopper committed.
The B side is empty, but they've popped the 2 ults and the paranoia out.
Oh. Zekken just stole that one away, opening the door himself.
The spike does go down though. No ults on the side of Sentinels.
And that does Meteor fallen, so that gives Zelsis this timing.
The smoke keeping them apart. 2 targets found, only 1 claimed. Munchkin, who was so far up at the very beginning, still playing out towards stairs. 10's besting him. Numbers the way of the defense. And Ob still in the hands of Zekken. A difficult weapon to pull this off with.
He's got to be the one that gets on the spike, allow his teammates with the rifles.
I don't know if he has
the
the tools
stick
for this.
He's got to hit the shot here.
Aaron's the first to fall. Texture's by himself. Zekken hits a shot. The defuse comes through. Sentinels get to map point.
We said it against FPX. Zekken looked amazing with that operator. And he's continuing that onward here. He's sitting at 20 kills. He opens the door. Takes his own peek here. And it's against Meteor. Of all players.
And you're right, you mentioned it. That's what allowed the timing for Zelsis to crunch up mid.
Yeah. Zelsis was waiting on that alarm bot the entire way through, hoping that somebody would pick off Meteor, allow him to get that timing, and he did just that.
Zach.
Yeah, you know what he said.
I don't know if any of you are lip readers out there, but there were strong words of encouragement towards his teammate.
He said, I love you so heckin' much for taking out Meteor.
That's exactly what that was. Genji call a timeout in the waning moments of this first map. A best of 3 with elimination written all over the walls. The end of the year for one of these 2 squads. Hopes and dreams of lifting hardware end today.
And when you were looking at this map pool, you knew Sentinels had to win this Lotus map. If not, you're going against Genji on Icebox, Haven. Maps that Sentinels haven't really looked that great on.
No, I mean, Icebox was their perma for forever. It's been a while since
they haven't played it since March.
Yeah, it's been a minute. So who knows what they have prepared there, but opting to ban out Ascent, which makes sense. Genji, the best team in the world on the map, so I get it.
Yeah.
But you're right, they had to win Lotus. And I mean, we're not done.
Not by any means.
But so far, it seems like Sentinels are managing to make good on the plan that they set out to accomplish. Still plenty to be found and figured out here, though. Genji with 2 ults.
Oh, so much info gathered from that fade.
Beautiful eye out from Sasi. You're getting a little bit proactive here. The Prowler doesn't tag, Zekken doesn't either.
Yeah, and Zekken's gonna have to move now. Get off of that B site. We saw them do this last time around against FPX. He takes a pick front B. goes towards stairs. He has the alarm bot there for protection.
And remember, Munchkin was right up on this in the previous round. The turret, the first thing that's cleared, you still have the 2 mollies.
Such cool protocols right now from Sentinels. So many different layers to this approach.
Yeah, but I really like this from genji, though. I mean, they're methodically removing all of the traps and all of the little passive information gathering tools that Sentinels have.
Very high-level stuff right now. That's a free B site because of all that.
And yeah, it costs them a paranoia, and yeah, it costs them a little bit of time, but they gladly give that up in exchange for the site.
Viper's Pit invested as well.
With a molly on it.
Yeah, exactly. Texture's going to play ahead of it. It's looking pretty good right now for Genji. Sentinels. What kind of retake do they have cooked up?
Careful here on the crunch. Tens has a paranoia. Karen's going to be the first to fall. The first smoke comes through, the tap of the door, and there's the flash. Is there anything behind it? Texture, the only one who I believe didn't get tagged in. He's still up on the pit, like you mentioned. Concealed in the green goo. The spam comes through. Meteor's dead. How much more can he find? Oh, no. Disaster again for Sentinels as Texture obliterates them. 4 found as Genji get to 7.
What in the hell was that from Texture? He was sitting in that smoke, fearful of his life. He didn't move an inch. He was stone cold. Everybody whizzing past him. He didn't move the whole time. He was crouched here. The entire retake. And that last flick on his Zekin, disgusting.
1 enemy remaining.
Unbelievable play.
Crazy.
Yeah. The problem is for Genji, they're going to have to do it again. The deficit that they're facing is so great. But Valorant can be a silly game at times.
The calling of Genji has been really, really good so far on this attacking side.
Oh, they're investing heavy into this without real weaponry. Sheriffs and a judge. But they dropped the lockdown, or excuse me, the nightfall. Karen up close. The paranoia's out. Karen's dead. So is Lakia. Texture and Munchkin, the only 2 that are up. The pit's been planted, but the guns are not great on the other side. Texture's gonna have to clutch again, and he does! 8 for Genji as they stay alive.
It's ridiculous. And a huge investment from Sentinels as well. Saucy using his ultimate. Oh my goodness. Another showstopper online. He just had that 2 rounds ago.
What?
The momentum is in full effect right now for Genji. They're within 4 rounds of tying this up.
Last round is often the hardest. And when you're playing against a team of Genji's caliber, it makes sense.
A lot of Odin spam being done in tree. But Texture, oh my gosh, he's not slowing down.
With ult popped, the tether keeps him back. Zekin's got one of his own.
What?
But he's gonna have to use it in the next round if we get that far.
Doug, I think Sentinels are crumbling.
I think they have to save here.
You have to.
Yeah.
But even the way these fights are going, it's so one-sided in the way of Genji. They're decimating Sentinels in these last couple of rounds.
I'll find you.
Texture just decided to just wake up and go absolutely nuclear.
Poison's on.
Genji with full momentum here. I was a little hesitant to say it in the previous round. Because again, there was a lot, they still were a lot of ults on the side of Sentinels. They're still at 12. There's still a pretty big gap here, but I think we're watching every single brick of that wall fall.
And Doug, this is why Genji are a championship level team. You can never count them out. They never give up. They're gonna fight till the very end. They're gonna push you like you've never been pushed before. And the way they've won these last 3 rounds, Texture, his performance, it's been off the charts. This is such high-level play right now. Oh my goodness, 4 HP, and this kill as well. Unreal.
Reckless abandon on the swing, and it works. 23 and 14 for the Duelist, and it looks like we're due for a Clash A main again.
It's a force.
This could be a mess. I mean, almost everyone is here. Both Paranoia's traded. Texture's down. Raid boss falls. And now the ult popped. But it looks like it's a little short. And so both teams refusing to relent on this area of the map. But Zekken looking to take us to Icebox. And barring a miracle for Meteor, that's exactly where we're headed. Genji decided to take the fight where Sentinels have succeeded this entire half, and it was ill-advised.
Wow.
13-9 as Lotus goes the way of Sen City.
Wow, what a map so far. If this is what we have in store, this is insane.
Genji fought back with ferocious attempts, but it wasn't enough to get him over the finish line. It wasn't enough to close the gap. Texture had heroic moments, Munchkin did too. But the guys on Sen City, they're starting to shoot back as well. We're in for a good one, folks. Icebox on the other side of this break. We'll be right back.